it off, if you could just kind of give us a bit of a flavor for the companies you've worked for in which you've used Coupa as a key vendor.
Sure. I'll back up even a little further than that. I started in 98 with Transamerica Insurance. And the reason I bring that up is that was kind of the beginning of e-procurement. And in 99, they purchased Ariba. They were the fifth customer of Ariba, and that's a competitor of Coupa. So I've been involved with the whole e-procurement thing really since inception. So worked with Ariba back then, and then I ended up leaving Transamerica in 2010, and then going to Molina Healthcare. And at Molina Healthcare, it was a fast-growing company, didn't really have any procurement infrastructure to speak of. We went out and we did an ERP, we did J.D. Edwards in 2010, and bought it in 2010, stood it up in 2011, and I had told my boss, who was the CFO, I said, look, this is not going to be a good procurement system for what we're doing. J.D. Edwards is an ERP, it's too hard to use. He said, well, we bought it, let's try it using it anyway. So we tried it, and it failed. It was too hard to use for the end users. So we went out and did an RFP, and I knew that I wanted to go out and buy Ariba because I'd used it, had been successful with it, but being a good purchasing guy, I wanted to go out and have some competition. So I asked around and said, what's new and interesting in the space around e-procurement, and heard good things about Coupa. So I said, all right, well, we'll throw them in the mix so we have a viable competitor, and put them into the RFP mix, did the demo, and then we were kind of hooked because the UI on it was so much better than really anything out there at the time. And this is probably late 2012. So we ended up awarding the RFP to Coupa. The pricing on it, the model was better for us on a long-term basis. The initial costs were similar, but the long-term model was much better. Coupa was a little hungrier at the time, and so we ended up purchasing that, implementing it in 2013. So ran it from 2013 until I left there in 2017. And during that time, Molina grew from about a 4,000-person company to 20,000 people, and comparable in their revenues as well. So was able to scale with us, and we gained some great efficiencies out of using it. We used it in accounts payable, and during that period of time, since we grew fourfold, we didn't actually hire any more people in accounts payable headcount-wise. We did some different skills, but with the efficiencies in that system versus the old one, we still were able to run accounts payable with 14 people. Purchasing increased, but that was because of really additional skill sets we were bringing in, things like that, and just going after opportunities. So I did that in 2017.
What modules did you use at Molina?
Pardon me?
What modules did you, or what different kind of components of their offering?
We used the basic procure to pay, and then we'd purchase contracting right when I was leaving.
Okay.
And the contracting, they have two contracts modules today. We've purchased the more basic one, which, Molina lost a lot of resources. They basically had an investor take over from the family and gutted the company of anything strategic and just kind of went into maintenance mode. So they ended up not implementing that contracts module, just really due to a lack of resources and to some extent a lack of fit. So left there, and then I started, had a job in between where we didn't have Coupa. We were using Scout RFP, and then I came to Alignment a little more than a year ago, and part of, coming to Alignment was, again, standing up infrastructure for a high-growth company. And so we did an RFP again and went back to the market, and our AP area was very heavily involved in it, and a very strong leader in that area. So